Welcome to the P.T.S.D podcast with your host, comedian and military veteran, Bernard the Laugh Therapist Hines, where we discuss P.T.S.D, processing traumatic situations differently, and give you tools to help you overcome the stigma of seeking help. If you're ready to be inspired, then welcome to the Stigma-Free Zone. Here's your host, the Laugh Therapist himself, Bernard Hines.
What up, good people? What up, good people? Hey, it's your boy, Bernard Hines, a.k.a. the Laugh Therapist, and welcome to the P.T.S.D Processing Traumatic Situation Differently podcast. Here, we try to inform, enlighten, and become advocates for one another as we learn more productive ways to process our trauma. Always remember, though, as a therapist, I am not licensed. I'm just medicated. Welcome to the Stigma-Free Zone. What up, everybody? How are y'all doing today, tonight, this evening, wherever you are listening to this podcast? We thank y'all for tuning in. I don't count it robbery that you would tune into this podcast. Listen, y'all, I have a great guest on today. We're going to talk about some things. And as I always say, if we're talking about something and you're feeling overwhelmed, please step away and regroup. But right now, y'all, I want to bring on my sponsor for today, Rebecca Brumfield, Razzle Dazzle Seasoning. Take a listen.
P.T.S.D podcast is sponsored by Ophelia's Creole Razzle Dazzle Season. When they ask you what you're seasoning with, you tell them it's Ophelia's Creole Razzle Dazzle Seasoning. Available in spicy and original. Get yours at RebeccaBrumfield.com.
All right, y'all. All right. Yep, I got me a sponsor. Razzle Dazzle Seasoning. All right. Razzle Dazzle Seasoning. Thank y'all for joining me. Right now, y'all, I'm going to bring on my guest, Miss Ari Cuffee. Come on now. How are you doing, Miss Cuffee? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay today. How
That's
about you?
I'm doing well. And may I say, you are looking fantastic on today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Inside joke. Y'all learn that. As my bishop says over your head, you'll learn that
yeah.
later. Listen, thank you for being on the podcast. I don't count it robbery. I have been trying to get you on the podcast for a while, and I just thank you for the opportunity for the world to hear your story and see and hear all the positive and wonderful things that you are doing. Listen, y'all, she is a product of Norfolk State University. Behold the green and gold.
Absolutely.
And I got to tell a little story, y'all. This is funny. She also works at the VA hospital, correct?
Correct.
Now, I ain't know she was in my lane of path. In my lane of path that can see my records.
Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know she could see my records. And I looked at it and I like, oh, Ari Cuffee, she can see my record. Now, suppose I come in there with something I don't want nobody to know. Now she looking at me in church like,
no.
you?
No, I don't think that.
But no, listen.
Confidential, all confidential.
All confidential. But no, I want to thank you for what you do for our veterans. I really do. Thank you very much. It was awesome to go in there and see a familiar face. Really.
Absolutely. It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you. So give me a little small synopsis about you and your nursing career.
Okay. Yes. So I started nursing school. So first, like I said, coming out of Tallwood High School.
Okay.
I was selected as one of only 10 nursing scholars because there's such a shortage to go to NSU. They had a scholars program, and we were really like the guinea pigs, but they had never did an accelerated program back in the 2000s. So graduated NSU, like I said, behold the green and gold.
Okay.
I worked as a CNA while I was in school.
Okay.
Got my I got my associates in 2003. I got my bachelor's in 2010 at NSU.
Now I like that because you got your associates.
Yes.
And then it took you some time when you got that.
Yeah, I was like, let me get something on my belt.
Come on now. So that was in 2010.
Yes, that's when I got my bachelor's at NSU.
Okay. And I have people who listen to my podcast that play the lottery. So the pick phone number for the day is 2010.
Gotcha.
That's the pick phone number for the day. Okay.
Right.
Then you went on and got a master's degree.
Yes, because I was like, if I want to do anything administrative or just move up or teach, I'm gonna need a master's. So I said, okay. Went back, got my master's.
And now in the spring of 2025, you're gonna be called what?
Dr. Cuffee.
Come my. Now you're going back to get a doctorate degree.
Yes. I was like, I might as well keep going and get to the end, get that terminal degree.
Correct. So you have done all this. You have served on the board at Buford House Shelter.
Right.
And that's a shelter for what?
That's a shelter for women.
Okay.
In Chesapeake, Virginia.
Wow.
Yes.
And then you volunteer with the little teenagers at the Mount.
Yes, I'm on the staff recharge ministry at the Mount, Chesapeake.
Okay. Congratulations. You're a new grandmother, 5-month-old.
Yes, and he's my heart.
Look at you.
Yes.
And you have 4 children.
And I have 4 beautiful children that keep me going. Keep
you going.
They joke. Yeah, they keep me laughing because we joke all the time. And, like you said, laughter is therapy. And
correct.
They keep me laughing.
And I bring up all of this, y'all, because this is the root of why we're going to be speaking today. She has done so much. She has done so lot. And in the process of all this, tragedy fell in her life. Absolutely. If you'd like to explain to people exactly what we're talking about.
Yes. So wanted to start by saying, again, nursing. Mm-hmm. My husband, Tremaine Eugene Cuffee, allowed me he helped me in nursing school, pushed me to go to nursing school, mm-hmm. even allowed me to stop working at one time so that I could finish my courses and do clinical. Okay. This is Tremaine.
Trey, better known as Trey. Teddy bear.
Yep. Yeah. Big teddy bear. But anyhow, so I'm like, okay, I save lives every day. I'm confident in what I do. Mm-hmm. Then comes March 9th of 2009. I'm sorry, I can't even get 2019.
It's okay. It's okay. We all here. We family.
At home, getting ready for work. Mm-hmm. He falls to the floor. Like I say, in the bedroom at home, and I'm hollering. We immediately begin. I start CPR. My oldest son, named after him, Trey, helps me with CPR. We are not successful at reviving him. So he passed on March 9th. And that had me questioning whether or not I even wanted to be a nurse, because again, at the VA, I work full time. I'm saving lives. I'm reviving people, bringing them back, rehabilitating them, but I can't get my husband back. So that made me think, like, do I want to do this anymore? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
correct. You're saving lives. And the main life that you should be saving, it didn't happen.
Right at home, right. But anybody else, it's like correct. Nothing, like So and that is why I have, like you said, I give glory to God. I have all the accomplishments I have because grief counseling didn't help me. I had to go back to school.
Okay.
And just take courses to to fill the void.
Right.
Which is not filling the void, but
I like how you say that because this podcast is processing traumatic situations differently. The people would tell you, go to grief counseling.
Yep. And I did it.
Correct. But you can process it that way.
It's not always the answer.
Yes. And you processed it through going back to school and that.
Right.
Wow.
Right. That's the only reason. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Bernard. Like, I was finished. I really didn't have a reason to go back to school. Because like I said, I'm already operating my career. I could already teach. Because one time they were saying you can't teach unless you have a doctorate, right? I was already teaching with my master's. So that's why I worked. That would have been my third job at Norfolk State. Okay. I started in 2019 because I needed more to do. I can't sit home. Right. I can't be quiet.
Right.
I did softball, co-ed softball, but that was just for a season. That didn't help.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm enrolling in a class. And I just been taking one class every 8 weeks. And then, for my P.T.S.D, just to help my mind stay active.
Correct. So that's great that you say that you have to be active, because when you're quiet and you're in your quiet and you just, what is in your mind? What be going through your example? Me, P.T.S.D, war, stuff like that. If I'm sitting home and I'm just woosahing, my mind is always turning.
Yes, that's me.
Always turning.
And I had to actually, I think it took to maybe this year or the beginning of last year, because like I said, that's another thing that's cliche. And like I said, I never discredit God or anything. I always pray. But people said, just pray. That wasn't working. I prayed, but it's like sometimes it's not immediate where the images will stop. So when I'm quiet and it was nothing going on in the house and say I'm done watching the show, I'm thinking about, did I do CPR effectively? Did I because he had fallen face forward and I had to flip him on his back. I was like, did I do more trauma? I was just all the things you shouldn't be thinking. And then I was just like,
correct.
When EMS came, which they took too long. But when they came, they were like, move out of the way so we can scope the scene. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, we're both medical professionals. When I move my hands, you're supposed to put yours there. It's not supposed to be a gap in time. So I'm like, you're just going down the list.
Of course.
And I'm trying to think, what could I have done better to revive him?
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you something. My oldest son, I have to give him credit, Tre. He's the one that told me, Mom, y'all say this all the time, and I know y'all don't think the children are listening, but God knows your beginning and your end.
Ooh.
Nothing you could have done. That was the time he was supposed to go. He was like, Dad wanted to be a DJ. He went to DJ school. He did it.
He did.
Dad
I remember that.
Yeah. Chef. He went to culinary school. He catered. He did it. He said he has fulfilled most of the things he wanted to do. And Mom, maybe that's just the end of his timeline. And like I said, he was in a senior in high school. He broke that down to me, and it never crossed my mind. I'm still like, what did I do wrong? What did I do?
Correct.
It was just his time.
Wow.
It was just,
Wow. I mean, it's amazing because I often think, honestly, when I'm home, and I have asked Trish before, do you know CPR? Yeah. Because having PTSD and anxiety and stuff like that, sometimes my heart would start racing. I'd be like, whoa, what is this? You have to.
Yes.
So it is best to even know it, though.
Right. You need to know it. It's just like one of those things, just like if someone's choking, somebody in the room needs to know the Heimlich.
Correct.
If anything could happen in a moment, just want to make sure you know where to put your hands and just keep pumping,
Correct.
Because you're pumping the blood. Yeah.
Wow. So how many children were at the house at the time? Because I know it was a Saturday, right? It was a Saturday morning.
It was a Saturday morning.
He
worked at Whole Foods Market. He was a manager there.
Yes, and I remember the little kids were supposed to have a basketball game.
Yes,
and yes, I know like it was. I remember because I called the good friend of y'all's, Patrick, and I was like, man, listen, I just called to tell him, hey man, I'm sorry, because I know y'all was tight.
Oh yeah, and he was in the room at the ER. We were in the ambulance. He was. I don't know how he got there so fast, but he was in the room. But so we were getting ready he was getting ready for work, and they were getting up to get ready and get dressed for the basketball game. So everybody was home. Both of my girls were calling 911. Malachi was about 6 or 7, and I had shut the door when the EMS came. His door. Okay. And that's why I still kind of deal with him. He's a little quiet, but I thought he didn't see anything. He said, Mom, the firefighters kicked my door open. So I saw them carrying Daddy out. But that was something else that came out later.
Correct. Okay.
But he still doesn't talk about it. But I'm just like, are you good? And they've all went through mental health counseling through CHKD too. Okay. So they did like a year of counseling afterwards because they were all in the house.
Correct. So that is something that's traumatic.
It's very traumatic. And then the fact that I didn't want anybody to help me, but I needed my son to help because I know the girls probably couldn't. They're younger.
Okay.
My arms got tired because if
correct.
I didn't have anybody. So he was just like, what do I do? That was my moment. I need to make sure everybody in this house knows CPR, but he did. So
okay.
Tre did. And he helped me until they arrived. EMS had arrived. And yeah. See, sometimes I'll get lost in the question. What did you?
No. Yeah, no. You're flowing. No, you are good. You listen. When you call me and you say I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
This is your story. This is not it don't have to be perfect. It ain't trying. Your story, what you're sharing right now, is going to help someone.
Right.
And that's why I truly believe what we go through. People say, man, you always talking about mental health. Because I just want it to help someone.
Absolutely. Yes.
We don't go through anything in life just to say, well, I went through it. oh well,
Yeah,
you figure it out for your right.
Keep it up, right?
No.
But
no,
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, no. I just want to ask you this one question. No, people always ask, when stuff happened, did you question God?
I did.
Okay.
I
And that's
got mad
normal.
with him. I questioned him.
There
and
you
I
go.
got upset because I said, okay, I'm going to tell you all the things that went through my head.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we honored you. We come to church. We make sure our children are raised in the church. He's a family man. We out here doing this thing as a team. And that it's funny because, like I said, that was my best friend. So we went I was a senior in high school, and he had a freshman in college. But we did everything together.
Yes, y'all did. Yeah.
You see, we're happy. We're raising our kids. We even were a part of the marriage ministry. We were doing things with the marriage ministry. So it just seems like everything's going right. And then I'm like, I got 4 kids, and you're gonna take him from me? Like, I was like, what did I do? And I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I questioned. I remember sharing that with Pastor Patrick.
Okay.
I was like, I know God is a jealous God. Was it that I was so in love with my husband and so consumed in him? Is that why he took? I was, because I know God doesn't punish you, but I was just like, did he do that because he wants my attention back? Because I literally, we talk on the phone all day long, even at work. I'm not supposed to be on the phone, but I'm like, what you doing? Okay, you got lunch,
Right.
Like, can you come by here? I made these pastries and and they're about to be bought up. I was like, I'm gonna run over there, and then we get off the phone. We just talk about little silly stuff. And he brought families together. Like, there was a time in our family where there were people not talking, and Tre just know how to be that negotiator or that person, that middle person.
Correct.
And got families back together. Even people at his job, it almost seemed like he was a counselor because there was conflict. And he just seemed like they called him Dr. Fix-It at work because he was just resolving stuff. And so that's why I was like, I don't know. I was mad with him. I was mad with God because I was like, now what am I supposed to do? I even had a period where I was just like, I don't even want to be here, but I gotta raise my babies, and that's their little Tre's. You're like, I have to raise them, but when you're going through it, you're not thinking about all that. You just like, you took him, you might as well take me. And
that's
I was upset. I was upset.
That's the key. That's the key when I tell people the thoughts that I used to have in my mind about, not being here no more and stuff like that. You don't think about the other stuff. You can't go to somebody, look at all you got to live for. I know that.
Right.
But now, this pain that I got.
And nothing could quench it.
Correct.
Nothing could make that better. And it's like, lady called me. He was supposed to start a new job the very next week.
Okay.
He did all that he could do at Whole Foods Market.
Okay.
He couldn't go any higher unless you're going to be the store manager. And he didn't want to be that. So he said, I would like to redesign the way that the children eat.
Okay.
So we were in Norfolk at the time. Norfolk Public Schools hired him as the food nutrition manager. So he could dictate what they're eating because he was just like, there's too much high fructose corn syrup in it. I need to change this. Wanted them to eat healthier. I had to call them and tell them he's not going to come in on his first day, which was the very next week. That all of that stuff is like, okay, I'm starting to not really accept the fact that he's gone, but you got people calling like,
correct.
He's supposed to start this. I've been calling him. If you remember the flyers for the funeral, that was because he had just launched his doing parties and stuff. He did a few weddings and things, but
DJing.
Yes.
Yes.
For him to hand out and for us to post. And then I had to call them and say, I know you just made like 1,000 of these, but can you put wings on them? Because now, can I use it for the funeral? Because he's not going to, I can't promote him DJing. All of these things are, I sat back and asked God, like, you see all the stuff we got going on? I know it may not be, I want everything to be part of God's plan, but I said, did we take a wrong turn somewhere? Did we like reel it back?
Right.
So,
so when did you stop overthinking it? Or have you?
I recently, maybe like I said, the last 2 years. And that's when I feel like, okay, I said a prayer over and over, and I don't know the exact Bible verse. It was like cast down all imagination or images or something like that. And I was like, God, can you just cast down all these images I keep having of him on the floor or the CPR? I was like, those are the images I need you to delete from my memory bank. I was like, because I can't function effectively. Like I would go to work and break down.
Right.
People got sick of me. They were like, maybe you need to stay home.
Correct.
And they were getting attitudes. I'm like, I lost my husband though. Like, I don't know how y'all relationship is with your husband, but that was my best friend. Like we finish each other's sentences and I have nobody to go to because he was helping me grieve over my mom that passed 3 years before him.
Okay.
So that's why I was mad at God too. Cause I was like, he's helping me through the process with my mother. And then you're going to take him too.
Correct.
I was like, yeah, you must be mad at me, God. But
wow.
But yes. So
but, hey, in all of that though, even in all of that, and see, one thing Trish have always told me is when a person passes in someone's life, everybody's always there for the moment.
Man,
you're overwhelmed. You're like, right. I don't. Okay, right now, no. What about down the road when you're checking on? Yeah, that overwhelming right then is like too much. So I personally, if I know a person, if I know you, but I'm not in your inner circle, I just send condolences and back because it's so much.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
It's just so much. And then you don't know what to say. I mean,
and I respect that. And I respect that so much that you said that because there are people that want to say all the extra stuff that actually adds more hurt. The biggest thing that I asked them politely, I even start saying, I said, please don't tell me you know how I feel. Please don't tell me. I appreciate your heart and you being nice, but just don't say you know how I feel because that would upset me, I think, the most because I'm like, no, you really don't. Because you don't
even Lisa, even if your spouse have passed, you can't tell me because you don't know the relationship.
That's it. And that's all I wanted them to understand. And some people be like, but no, let's not go back and forth because you don't know. Let's not do that.
Yeah. And don't tell me, well, they're in a better place. No. Right now, the better place is right here with me.
Those are triggers. You think I'm mad?
Thank you.
Yes.
When you're going through trauma, sometimes it's just best not to say nothing, especially if you're not in that circle.
Right.
And I'm very careful about saying words or what to say. If you just say, I'm praying for you, send my condolences. Boom.
Or I'm here. I'll accept that too. Thank you for being here and saying that you're here.
Right.
But there were a lot of people that did that disappeared, like you said, the day after the funeral. They were like, I'm here. Even said to my children, because my children remember some that said that too, like, I'm here for you if you need anything. And then you can't find them, get a hold of them.
Correct.
And I wish they had just not said that.
Said that. Yeah. It's and there's a lot. We all know as in the African American community. I don't know. People say, well, why is it just us? Because I'm not Caucasian, so I wouldn't know how
right.
But I just know us. We have to have some people just relax. Because that was a day. That was a day. And not only you and your family was hurting, his close friends was hurting.
Right.
Yeah. So it's you have done, I see you and your kids on social media. You have I don't know, but I'm gonna ask this question. Have you made peace? Because you look like what you're doing. I mean, because trust me, from a person like me, we going and going and going. People see me on social media. They say, man, you don't even look like you have PTSD. You don't see me at home.
Right. Right.
You
just be on this Facebook, right?
There you go. Now, if you see me on Facebook and I'm just crying and I'm broke down all the time, you be like, why don't he get off that? No, but have you made peace, or are you coming to peace, or is it because it could be an ongoing thing? I don't know.
Right. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. I got one of them too.
Yeah, she want to be part of the interview.
Call it. We're talking about the dogs, y'all. For those who can't.
Yes.
On the
I get a little Yorkie that just
And I got two of them. And
okay.
yeah, they supposed to be emotional dogs, but they cause me more stress. But anyway,
that's one of the reasons I got her too.
Okay.
So yes, pet as well. Yeah, pets definitely. But still making peace.
There you go. Okay.
Still making peace.
Yep.
And still accepting it. And I like the fact that Bishop used to say, how we come up in church and they be like, don't question God, but there's no biblicals. I will question them.
That's right.
And, different ways he will, show me things, but that's helping me to make peace. But before, like you said, the elders would be like, don't question God, just accept it. No, I'm not, I'm not that person. I can't do that. I need answers. And I'm going to tell you something, even after he had passed, I wanted an autopsy because I didn't accept it then in the room when they pronounced him. So after I had a chance to sit, I was like, no, I want them to pull him out of the mausoleum and we need to find out what it was.
Right.
And I got an answer through a close friend.
Okay.
That had a dream and that Jay Hooper. He had a very clear description. Very clear description. And I was like, you know what? There's no way he would have known that. So I used to try to make Tre wear these the compression stockings or Ted hose.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he had prolonged standing and sitting sometimes.
Okay.
And he wore them one time and he was like, man, I can't get these things on. Right.
Called leg girdle.
Right. Yeah, it's like wearing whale stock and leotards. So Jay had seen him in a dream and kind of dapped him up and told me about how he said, Tre told me that you would understand this. He said something about compression stockings or something like that. And my eyes just got big because I was like, so, in medical knowledge, if you have clots in your legs that travel up to your lungs, that's called a pulmonary embolism, like a clot travel.
Okay.
But it was that versus a heart attack because they have the same clinical presentation. You could pass out, you could fall, grab your chest. Oh,
right.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Same presentation. So I think that he had a clot in his legs that migrated to his lungs, and that will stop you from breathing. That arrest you like a heart attack. Okay. But if you wear compression stockings or the Ted hose, that will keep the flow going. That will keep the flow from moving up and down, and it'll keep you from getting the varicose veins and things like that.
Right.
So when he said that to me, I just I couldn't say nothing else. I couldn't say anything else. And then the funeral home, I had even talked with them. I'm telling you, I went through a whole process, the denial, all the stages of grief. I called the funeral home. I was like, the mausoleum. I said, how much would it cost for you guys to take him out and do I'm ready now for the autopsy. They were like, you don't want to do that. They were like, we're just letting you know it'll cause more trauma than it did the first time because we got to take him out and and I said, all right. And then I tried to sue EMS because I was like, y'all took too long. And then they even gave me reassurance. We're like, we saw him take a breath. That doesn't give me assurance. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I was like, but you're supposed to resume. When I move my hands, you're supposed to get ready. And y'all didn't do that. Y'all told me to get out of the way. And I didn't want to hinder them from doing their job. So I moved.
But see, by you saying that, when you see movies and stuff, people be yelling, I'm not moving. I'm a nurse. You supposed to come. Yeah. All that. But in that moment,
I was like, get them back. I'll move out the way, but get them back. And then there was even a point in time, I think right after that, the whole church had went to see the movie. It was something where a little boy drowned in ice water.
Yes.
That tore me up. I had to stay in the theater while y'all left because I could not. I was like, so this little boy is hypothermic and he's dead for an hour. Yeah. And y'all brought him back.
Yeah.
So all of those little things, I couldn't watch ER, Grey's Anatomy, nothing.
None of that. Wow.
So, but I mean, over time, like I said, because they do say, time helps you heal, but
correct.
It doesn't fill that void, and it doesn't, but it helps you heal. And even during the holidays and stuff,
yes,
it's a challenge, but to help other people, my suggestion is definitely try to create new memories with your family. Like we're trying to do, resume some of the same things that he would do.
Correct.
But like we make, Christmas cookies, and we're going to do gingerbread contest this year on Christmas Eve. But that first Christmas, it was silent. It was a silent night, silent day. The kids opened their gifts, and I think they went back in their room because we know what to do. And then it's like the pressure's on me to try to feel this, to continue what we started. Like I'm struggling trying to get to all these stores because we would go together.
Right.
We would get up at 2:00 in the morning and put stuff together and put it under the tree.
Right.
And we would be playing Christmas music, playing games, just him and I, while they went to bed, and we would put stuff out. And so I'm like, it's just like not there. So I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this?
Well, I'm telling you, I just want to tell you from the outside looking in, and I know outside looking in doesn't. You are processing it, and you're doing. Your kids are healthy. They're. I see them now. They're graduating, grandkids, and I know people say life goes on, but life didn't go on for everybody. A lot of people, when they go through trauma and stuff like that, they stop. As you said, you want to give up. And
I have to tell you, add one more thing to that.
Go ahead.
I have to shout out Lisa Dixon, because she was, again, the grief counselor at the Mount that had facilitated me through the process. Tre had catered for them a few times and cooked for them personally, and that's how we built a bond initially. Okay. I had no idea this would be the lady that literally stuck by my side, like literally. Yes, family, my sisters.
Of course.
My sister and my dad as well. But I'm going to speak on Miss Lisa first. So Lisa would not let me have a silent moment. There was a couple times, and that's why I said I was just giving up. I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't trying to shoot myself, or I wasn't trying to hang myself, but I just was like, I'm not eating. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not getting up.
Right.
And she called my phone. She got a key to my house. And she was like, you're not picking up. I'm on my way. Like I would listen to the voicemails. I was like, Lord, let me call her back, because I'm in the road. But she was that person. She was like, Ari, I'm on my way. I ain't heard nothing from you. And she would come pick me up and ride me around in her car. And April too. April Williams, like when they were getting their home built, in Suffolk, she would pick me up and we would just ride around because I had nothing to say. Right. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to do my hair. I just sit in the car, literally just sit in the car. And she was like, come on, just come with me. We're going up the street. We're going to check this out. Just ride with me. Because I want bereavement.
And that's what we need. Yeah. Don't be asking me a lot of questions.
She asked me questions. Yes,
that's great.
And then, like I said, my dad didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do, but he would come every Saturday. He would take the kids to their basketball game because I didn't want to do nothing. He would take my trash out, wash my dishes, and drive back to Richmond every Saturday. He would open up just pick up stuff around the house because, mind you, I'm not cleaning, I'm not eating. I don't know what the kids eating because I'm just like, I just kind of gave up.
Trust me,
but over time, I got myself together, and like I said, that's family and friends and prayer. But and then like I said, then once they see you doing a little bit better, and they pull back. But I'm like, not yet, don't pull back. I'm on training wheels, like stay around.
Yes, but I just want to say, what you went through, you're going to be there for someone else.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. I mean, like I said, what I went through, my PTSD, people said, no, you're going to be talking and helping other people. I'm like, no, I don't want to help nobody right now. I won't.
Yeah, at that moment, you like.
Yeah. But you are doing a great thing. And I'm glad you're starting to tell your story, because your story is going to help someone.
Absolutely.
Your story, I'm telling you, is going to help someone to where somebody would say to their family members, hey, we all need to know CPR in this house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not about the big things. It could be just a small, hey, we all need to make sure we got all our ducks in the line. Like me and Trish, we just went on a cruise.
Yeah.
Okay. I told all the kids, this is where our paperwork is. They were like, we don't want to know. No, you need to know that.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
if we both go together and that plane happen to go down, no, y'all need to know where everything, because nothing like grieving and then there's chaos. You'll know
and
nothing.
then there's chaos and you don't know what nothing is. Right. You are so right.
So I just want to really applaud you, Doctor. Let me see it before the spring, Doctor.
Thank you. I appreciate
because you're doing a great thing, and I thank you for reaching out. And I just want to let you have the last word if you need to encourage someone who might be going through or someone who might be wanting to give up. What would be your words of encouragement?
I definitely want to encourage anybody out there dealing with grief, bereavement during that time to let you know that through time, prayer, and you just got to find what that thing is for you that's going to help keep you going. Everybody's is not the same. But there is life, there's hope, there is your end may be better than your beginning. You just got to get through that process. You just got to keep trusting God, and you just got to find what that is for you. Find out what that great thing is for you that's going to keep you going and keep you motivated and keep you moving. And don't give up. You can't give up, because then you won't see what it is, what the end will be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Ari Cuffee, I want to thank you for being on the PTSD, Processing Traumatic Situations Differently, because you process it several ways. Absolutely. And I just want to thank you for going forward. I want to thank you for keep doing what you're doing. I don't know if there's a book coming out of this. I don't know you never know. I don't know what's to come out of this, but I just want to applaud the people that were around you, because I know them people personally, and just it's great to have a village. When people say it takes a village to raise a child, it also takes a village to walk with someone who's went through trauma.
Right. Absolutely. That is absolutely correct.
So right now you are released from the stigma-free zone.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the P.T.S.D. podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit follow or subscribe on all podcast platforms so you can stay up to date on new episodes. Until next time, stay stigma-free.